As deadly attacks continue to sweep through Nigeria's middle belt and northern states, a growing global chorus has described the wave of killings as a Christian genocide. Yet, within Nigeria, that label has sparked intense controversy, with some public figures warning that it risks inflaming religious divisions rather than helping to solve the country's worsening insecurity. In separate interviews, former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani and public affairs analyst Jayi Gaskia argued that while the violence is real and widespread, it does not constitute genocide against Christians, but rather reflect a complex web of banditry, terrorism, and state failure that has affected communities across faith and ethnic lines.
Well, first of all, let us understand the crisis and conflict within the Nigerian state. In the northwestern part of Nigeria, you have bandits attacking innocent people, kidnapping, extorting money for ransom. And in the northeastern part of the country, you have terrorists killing people, kidnapping people, and extorting money for ransom. In the north central part of Nigeria, you have both bandits and terrorists killing and kidnapping people. Bandits and terrorists in northern part of Nigeria do not select their targets. They attack Muslims and attack Christians. As far as they are concerned, what matters most to them is extortion of money and killing their own victims at times. The majority of the victims of this banditry and terrorism are actually Muslims, because the kidnapping and terrorism happens in areas that are mostly populated by Muslims. So it's not true to say that Muslims are killing Christians in Nigeria. And when you talk of genocide, you don't see a nation where you have almost a 50-50 situation and say one religion is exterminating the other. It's not that the Muslims in Nigeria are 90% and the Christians are 10%. And as well, the genocide is taking place against the Christians. If you look at the 36 governors in Nigeria, you'll find that there are more Christians than you have Muslims. And we have had a Christian head of president, we have had a Muslim president. So the violence and killings in Nigeria is not a situation where you have Muslims are launching a campaign of genocide against Christians. But what we have here is terrorists killing both Muslims and Christians. The narrative that is given out there is false, it's misleading.
Nigeria has faced escalating violence for more than a decade. Boko Haram's Islamic insurgents in the northeast has claimed over 35,000 lives since 2009. Armed banditry in the northwest and central states has displaced millions. Farmer-herder clashes in Benue, Plateau, and Kaduna have deepened ethnic and religious tensions. Christian advocacy groups, including the Christian Association of Nigeria and several international NGOs, maintain that the patterns of attack, burning of churches, killing of clergy, and selected targeting of Christian villages amount to a deliberate campaign of extermination. But analysts like Sani and Gaskia countered that while Christians have suffered greatly, so too have Muslim communities, a reality often ignored in international reporting.
Benue and Plateau, who are the majority in that state?
Christians. That's why
So how does a minority launch a campaign of genocide against majority? It doesn't logically make any sense at all. So in the killings going on, the people who are killing, the terrorists killing innocent people in Zamfara, in Niger, in part of Sokoto and Kebbi, they are the same people, the same terrorists killing innocent people in Benue and Plateau State. So just some few months ago, they launched attack on a mosque in Katsina, kill over 50 people. They launched attacks in Zamfara, in a mosque, and kill. So as much as they attack churches in Benue and Plateau, they also attack mosques. So it is not a situation that the Muslims are backing the terrorists, the Muslims are backing the bandits. But then I don't think this is helpful to addressing the problems of this country, because the Muslims and the Christians are all confronted by a common danger, They need to work together and bring an end to. There are people who are bent on triggering religious violence and crisis in Nigeria, so that we can have these kind of things that will destroy us. But they are not actually helping matters, and it's not true. But when did the genocide started? Because we have had, Jonathan was the president of Nigeria for 5 years. And why was there no issue of genocide? Was it when Tinubu took over power that genocide started? Who is the southern Christians? So it is just absolute nonsense as far as I'm concerned. Every Nigeria has access, except if you want to twist the access. Everyone has a phone here. You know what is going on. You see the people who are killed in Katsina, in Zamfara, in parts of Sokoto, Kebbi State and Niger State. So was it that when Muslims are killed, it's not genocide, and it's only when, in fact, if you look at it, 80% of the victims of these killings are actually Muslims, not Christians in Nigeria.
I think that the first place to start from is to actually ask the question, is there a genocide taking place in Nigeria at all, of whatever coloration? Because for something to qualify for, genocide is a very specific phenomenon. It has been defined in international law. It's defined by the UN. It's defined by many constitutions. So is there a genocide going on in Nigeria? There is no genocide, because a genocide has to be targeted, it has to be mass, it has to be about eliminating a particular set of people for being what or who they are. Yeah. So and the genocide is organized, it is mobilized. So there are people who are actually making those decisions. So is there genocide going on in Nigeria? There is actually no genocide going on in Nigeria. There is the situation of insecurity in Nigeria such that we have mass atrocities, that we have massacres here and there. Yes, we have massacres, we have mass atrocities that are being committed here and there on the back of the insecurity in the country. Even in the case of jihadist insurgency, it's an insurgency that is against the state, that wants to establish a state that is based on Sharia, but it's also an insurgency that treats everybody who does not agree with the teachings of that particular sect as infidels, and so attack Christians and Muslims alike.
Mainly Christian communities have been attacked and forced from their homes. Sani argues that the real genocide is the state failure to provide security, leaving all Nigerians at the mercy of armed groups. While reports of anti-Christian attacks remain deeply troubling, the picture that emerges from voices like Senator Shehu Sani and Jaye Gaskia is one of a nation overwhelmed by insecurity rather than organized genocide. Their message underscores a sobering truth: unless Nigeria rebuilds its fractured institutions and restores law and order, every community, Christian, Muslim, or otherwise, remains in danger.